Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of a promised land. He understood and battled for the world to be, for people to be, what God promised that we would be. He knew that God made all men equal, all children of God, all created by Him, all loved by Him, all promised a great purpose. He marched towards the world that he knew God wanted for us. Many thought that kind of change was impossible, and others opposed it because of ignorance or hate. But he chose to march the right way, following Jesus, who sacrificed himself to prove all people worthy and loved, to serve even those who fought against him. Martin Luther King Jr. followed Jesus and showed us the better way. He never forgot that he was serving the Lord, and he persevered and did it the right way. He changed the world because he served a mighty God, one who had promised a better way, a promised land. Two of Martin Luther King Jr.'s speeches were combined to make a book entitled The Measure of a Man. I suggest you go to Kindle and buy it for $1. He writes, "So I say to you, seek God and discover Him and make Him a power in your life. Without Him, all your efforts turn to ashes and your sunrises into dark nights. Without Him, life is a meaningless drama with a decisive scene missing. But with Him, we are able to rise from the fatigue and the despair to a buoyancy of hope. With Him, we are able to rise from the midnight of desperation to the daybreak of joy." Only Jesus can heal and give us peace. Follow Him and trust Him alone. Farther in King's writings, he says, "Religion must never overlook this, and any religion that professes to be concerned about the souls of men and is not concerned about the economic conditions that damn the soul, the social conditions that corrupt the man, and the city governments that cripple them, is a dry, dead, do-nothing religion in need of new blood. For it overlooks the basic fact that man is a biological being with a physical body." Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did not invent love for other people. He followed the way of Jesus. And he is a great example of love and political involvement for us to learn from. How do we respond to our enemies? Mockery, hate, name-calling, violence, and rants are a foreign way to Jesus, and one we should not march. Instead, care for others and offer forgiveness, because that's the way of Jesus. Dr. King writes, "This is the glory of our religion, that when man decides to rise up from his mistakes, from his sins, from the evils, there's a loving God saying, 'Come home, I still love you.'" The legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is that he knew and followed Jesus. He saw an injustice contrary to the way of Jesus, people oppressed because of the color of their skin. And King trusted that Jesus wanted to use him to change this, even when others could not see the possibility of that change. He followed Jesus, loving those who opposed him and ultimately killed him. Today, I pray that we can pair that with our political and religious leaders. Follow Jesus and learn this from Dr. King. The way of Jesus is the only way to the promised land.